I found with myself, like going from a very fixed mindset and now trying to move towards a growth mindset, there are things that I look back and I say, okay, I maybe did that, I maybe did this, maybe I added to the problem. And you feel so much guilt. You feel like there's this huge burden on your shoulders, and you feel like you were a bad person or you're not a good person in any way. And how do you reconcile those thoughts, or like how do you manage those thoughts without letting it overwhelm you or drown you in that way, so you can continue on this trajectory towards a abundant lifestyle or abundant like a mindset?
Distinguishing between I did a bad thing and I'm a bad person, and finding ways to remind yourself that you did a bad thing maybe, or you have guilt over a certain behavior or action from your past, but not letting that fully translate into the shame that can overtake you around I'm a bad person then. Because I think, at least for me, when I get into thinking in that way, and questioning my identity, it becomes more challenging then it's less motivating then. I find that it's a little bit more challenging then to think about how to change and grow, and it can cause you to kind of spiral a little bit downward.
There's that big fear component that we were talking about as well, is that that creating that discomfort. It's the fear of failure. It's the fear of like, what if it goes wrong? What if it gets worse? It's those what if questions that cause so much apprehension in us to step forward, to take that leap.
It's really just about rewiring your brain. And, we do that when we talk about depression and anxiety and, our thought processes, we do that. So it's really rewiring your brain. And, just to mention, racism is learned. It's really about unlearning it. And I truly think that we have a few options. We have an option to internalize our guilt and shame, or we have an opportunity to externalize it and grow from it. The danger with internalizing is it goes nowhere other than spiraling within us, which becomes challenging. And I think when we start to realize that, when we are internalizing some of these thoughts, or whether we're externalizing them, when you're externalizing, you have an opportunity to grow. You have an opportunity to educate and change. Whereas when we get stuck in the spiral of I did something wrong, I'm a bad person, we sort of cut ourselves off from accountability and growth, and I think it's important to remember that.